Let's assume we have used the yellow sticky approach demonstrated in the previous tutorial to map out the sequence of activities necessary to accomplish the project. It is not until we know the sequence of activities and how they depend on one another that we can enter this information into MS Project. Notice that we enter predecessor information into the entry table and that we are also viewing the Gantt chart here on the right. Since only the lowest level activities consume time and will create our schedule, we will only be entering predecessor information for these activities and not for the major deliverables or summary tasks which summarize the activities indented below them. The first task that will need to be completed is interviewing the users. Once this has been completed, we can define the performance requirements for the software. Interviewing the users is a predecessor to defining the requirements. Therefore, Activity 3 is the predecessor for Activity 4. We will enter a 3 here in the predecessor column. Once we have defined the requirements, then we can design the logic. So Activity 4 is a predecessor for Activity 6. Once we have designed the logic, then we can design the database. So Activity 6 is a predecessor for Activity 7. All of the predecessor information has now been entered. Remember that predecessor information comes from a process that places the activities in a meaningful sequence, such as the yellow sticky approach. It makes sense that some activities may require that more than one activity be completed before it can begin. For example, in this project, integrating software and hardware can only begin once Code A, Code B, and assembling the hardware have all been completed. If we scroll over to view the Gantt chart, we can see that it has developed further after we have entered in the predecessor information. We can see when activities start and finish relative to this timeline. Also notice that we have developed some very useful information here under the project itself. MS Project has rolled up all of the information entered, and it is summarized for the project, for the entire project, in this row. We can see that our project is estimated to take 24 days to complete.